Okay, so start the quiz. And I've got my camera down here so that you guys can see my work. Even make it a little bit better. Okay. Question 1, determine the order of the matrix. So order of a matrix is rows by columns. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 3.
I have a problem.
For the matrix below.
So I have three numbers, right? And the other one has 3 numbers. I only have four boxes.
You have to press little plus.
But I need 2 boxes instead.
I gotta put a 0.
Just put a 0.
If you have too many boxes, use the minus sign. If you have too few boxes, use the plus
That would
sign.
just make too few boxes. A minus would be one less than I need. And then one more would be just a lot more than I need.
Marcus.
Then I would say there's probably an issue with whatever you're trying to do. Okay, so determine the value of the element C21. So it would be my second row, but there's not a second row, so that element is undefined.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
We shouldn't get this guy confused. What was he again?
You just need to add a column and subtract a row.
So now we need to find B plus A. So it's going to be -3 minus 4, -7. -4 plus 0, -4. -5 plus 1, -4. 5 plus 2, 7. Okay, given the matrices A and B, well, we want to find B minus A. So first of all, these are 4 by 2, so I need 2 more rows here so that I have enough space. And then because we're taking B minus A, we're going to have 3 minus a -2, 5 minus 4, 0 minus a -3, 2 minus a -2. Yes, ma'am. Brooklyn, are you working on your quiz right now? No. Yes. Okay. Will you go out to the field house? Okay, so we have 2 minus a -2, then we're going to have -1
Can I go through?
minus a -5. No. Yes,
How does the order go? The X, Y, Z?
exactly like that. 3 minus a -1. 5 minus.
I didn't know.
Now I'm losing track where I'm at. This should be 3 minus 1 and 4 minus 5. So that my answers are 5, 1, 3, 4, 4, 4, 2, -1. Just as a quick aside, something new, you can unsubmit an answer. So if you do a question and then you realize you goofed up and you want to change your answer, you can unsubmit and change it. You didn't used to be able to do that in these quizzes. Okay, now I want 1/2 of A plus 5B. So we're going to have 1/2 of 2 plus 5 times -1. 1/2 of -4 plus 5 times -1. 1/2 of 0 plus 5 times -4. And 1/2 of -4 plus 5 times -4. So this is 1 minus 5, which is 4. This is negative 2 minus 5, which is negative 7. 0 minus 20 is negative 20. And negative 2 minus 20 is negative 22. So I've got 4, negative 7, negative 20, negative 22. And I'm halfway through. Yay!
It should have a watch video for help or something.
No, sir, not during the quiz. That's what the homework is for.
Yeah, David.
So I want to find the product of these two matrices. So my end product, my product is going to be a 3 by 3. So remember, when we're multiplying matrices, we're going to multiply the row by the column and add. So we're going to have negative 1 times negative 1 plus 0 times negative 1 plus 0 times negative 1. And then I'm going to have negative 1 times negative 1 plus 0 times 1 plus 0 times 1. Then there's going to be negative 1 times 0 plus 0 times 1 plus 0 times 1. So my first row is going to be 1, 1, 0.
Okay, so how do you multiply these?
Okay, so we're going to take the entire first row by every term in the first column, and we're going to add all of those products. So if you look down here, I took negative 1 times a negative 1, so negative 1 times negative 1.
Oh.
And then 0 times negative 1, 0 times negative 1, and added those three products, which gave me a 1. So now for my second row, I'm going to take my second row, 2, 3, 0, and we're going to start by multiplying by the first column. Negative 1, negative 1, negative 1, which is going to be negative 2 minus 3, so that's going to be a negative 5. And then I'm going to take my second row times my second column, so negative 1, 1, 0. Negative 2 plus 3 is going to give me 1. And then I'm going to take that second row, which is 2, 3, 0, and multiply by my third column, which is 0, 1, 1. So that's 0, 3, 0. So the answer is 3.
Wait, what is
Yes. So then if we do it again, sorry, I'm trying to get this screen big enough that you guys can see what I'm doing. Does that help? Okay, so to find my third row, I'm going to take the third row of my first matrix. So 1, 0, negative 5. And I'm going to multiply it by the elements in my first column. So negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. And I'm going to add all three of those together. So that's going to be negative 1 plus 0 plus 5. So it's going to give me a 4. Then I'm going to take that same row. So I'm still working on my third row. 1, 0, negative 5. And I'm going to multiply by my second column. Negative 1, 1, 0. We're going to add. So I get negative 1 plus 0 plus 0. So it's a negative 1.
Wait,
Yes. So then we're going to take that third row, 1, 0, negative 5, times the third column, 0, 1, 1, which gives me 0 plus 0 minus 5, and I get a negative 5. So then those three sums are my third row. So this row is 4, negative 1, negative 5. And there are 2 multiplication questions. So now on this one, I have 3 rows in my first matrix and 2 columns in the second matrix. So I'm going to end up with a 3 by 2 matrix. And so we repeat. I'm going to take row 1, negative 5, negative 1, 3, negative 2, and multiply by column 1. Negative 1, 3, negative 1, 3. So I get 5 minus 3 minus 3 minus 6, 2 minus 9, negative 7. So that's going to be this first entry because it's row 1, column 1. And then to find row 1, column 2, I'm going to multiply row 1 by column 2. So I get 5 minus 0 plus 0 minus 2, which is going to be a 3. So now I'm on element 2, 2. So I'm going to take row 2, 5, 0, negative 4, 1. I'm sorry, this is element 2, 1. So I'm going to take row 2, column 1. So times negative 1, times 3, times negative 1, times 3. I get negative 5 plus 0 plus 4 plus 3. Negative 1 plus 3 gives me a 2. Then I need 2, 2. So it's going to be row 2, 5, 0, negative 4, 1, times column 2, negative 1, 0, 0, 1. We're adding in between. So I've got negative 5 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 is going to be negative 4. This is element 3, 1. So I'm going to take row 3, column 1. Okay, well, row 3 is 1, 0, 5, 2. Column 1 is negative 1, 3, negative 1, 3. So I get negative 1 plus 0 minus 5 plus 6. It's negative 1 plus 1. So that's a 0. And then for element 3, 2, I'm going to take row 3, 1, 0, 5, 2, and multiply by column 2. So that's negative 1, 0, 0, 1. So it's going to be negative 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 2, which is going to be 1. Okay. Here I'm writing the augmented system. So remember when we are writing augmented systems or augmented matrices, the first step is that we have to get all of our variables to the left and our constants to the right. And we're going to put our variables in alphabetical order. So this is going to be negative 5x plus 7y equals 3. I'm not happy with that. Okay. Negative 5x plus 7y. I don't have a z equals 3. Then I'm going to have 2y plus 7z equals 7. Negative 2x minus 3y plus 4z equals negative 6. So then my augmented matrix is negative 5, 7, 0, 3, 0, 2, 7, 7, negative 2, negative 3, 4, negative 6. Okay, determinant. This is what we went over yesterday. So as a reminder, the formula for the determinant of a matrix is AD minus CB. So, and remember that's going to be A, B, C, D. This is how we order them. So in this case, I'm going to have negative 2 times 1 minus negative 2 times 1. So it's negative 2 minus a negative 2. And our determinant is 0. Which means this matrix would be singular. We would not be able to find its inverse. Okay. Question 10 is going to be the one that takes the longest. So the first thing we're going to do is write our augmented matrix. So our given matrix goes on the left, negative 8, 4, 1, negative 1, 1. Oh. Matrix on the right is going to be our identity matrix. 0, 1, 0, negative 9, 4, 2, 0, 0, 1.
That's all we do?
That's how you write the augmented matrix, yes. But then you have to reduce it. So what I'm going to do is reduce my matrix on paper.
How do you do the last one?
Yeah.
Number 9.
Oh, number 9 uses this formula. A times D, so left-hand corner times right-hand corner, minus the product of the other two corners.
Minus.
A plus B, right? Or,
A times D.
oh, okay.
So we're going to multiply on the diagonal. We're going to multiply across the diagonal
Okay, so
and
A-
subtract.
Okay, so 0.
If yours comes out to 0, so did mine. Okay. So I personally struggle with trying to keep track of my steps in the computer. So I am going to solve this matrix on paper.
What if there is no,
And then transfer my steps over.
what if there is no second column or second row? And you're multiplying the matrix?
Let me see. Okay, so you're just gonna end up with 1 by 2. So you need 1 less row. There you go. Okay, here we go. No, that's not what I wanted you to do. Where did it go? It went away. Anybody know how to fix it? Okay.
What?
What?
What is it?
I got rid of my camera by accident. Okay, here we go. It's fine. We'll use this one. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to switch rows 1 and 2. So that gives me -1, 1.
Best friend.
Yes,
So we put what ours is on here on the left, and then we put that 1, 0, 0, 0.
on the right. Yes. Okay, so the first thing I did was just swapped my rows because now I've got this -1. I've got a -1 here that I can turn into a 1. So I'm going to take negative row 1 for my next matrix, which is going to give me 1, -1, 1, 0, -1, 0. And then I haven't changed the other two. So the next thing I'm going to do, I need
Wait, so why'd you do that?
because our goal here is to end up with 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 and then some other matrix on the right, which will be our inverse. So we start with our identity matrix on the right, and then we want to transfer it to the left. So the first thing I did was got my 1, and now I want to get my zeros.
It says I can end test early. I don't know how.
I mean, if you're
You're done?
Oh, I see. Didn't take my answer. Oh, I guess I have to force it.
So I want to get rid of this -8. So I'm going to take 8 row 1 and add that to row 2. So rows 1 and 3 are staying the same. And row 2, I'm going to have 8 minus 8 is 0. -8 plus 4 is a -4. 8 plus 1 is 9. 0 plus 1 is 1. -8 plus 0 is -8. And then 0 plus 0 is 0. So I just multiplied everything in the first row by 8 and added it to the element directly below. Now my next step, I really need to switch pens. My next step is to get rid of this -9. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take 9 row 1 and add it to row 3. So rows 1 and 2 are staying the same. But now I'm going to take 9 minus 9 gives me 0. -9 plus 4 is negative 5. 9 plus 2 is 11. 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 9 plus 0 is negative 9. And 0 plus 1 is 1. Now that my first column is correct, I've got 1, 0, 0. I'm going to turn element 2, 2 into a 1. So right now, element 2, 2 is a negative 4. So I'm going to get rid of that negative 4 by dividing by negative 4. So I'm going to take negative 1/4 of row 2. So rows 1 and 3 stay the same. And everything in row 2 gets multiplied by a negative 1/4. So that's going to give me 0. Negative times negative, this becomes a positive 1. 9 times the negative 4th is negative 9 over 4. 1 times the negative 4th is a negative 1/4. Negative 8 times negative 1 over 4 is going to be a positive 2. And then 0 times anything gives me 0. So that now I have this middle element is a 1. The next step is to make this negative 1 a 0. So since I have a positive 1 here and a negative 1 here, I can just add these two rows. So I'm going to take row 2 and add row 1. Row 2 stays the same. Row 3 stays the same. Row 1, okay, well, 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Negative 9/4 plus 1. Okay, well, negative 9 over 4 plus 4 over 4, which is 1, would be negative 5 over 4. Negative 1/4 plus 0 is just going to be negative 1/4. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 0 plus 0 is 0. So now that I have my 0 above my 1, I need to get my 0 below my 1. I've got a negative 5 there right now. So I'm going to take 5 times row 2 and add that to row 3. So rows 1 and 2 are staying the same. Now I'm going to take 5 times 0 plus 0. That's still 0. 5 minus 5, that's 0. 5 times a negative 9 over 4. Okay, so that's negative 45 over 4 plus 11, which would be 44 over 4. So that's negative 1/4. 5 times the negative 4th would be negative 5/4 plus 0. So it's just going to be negative 5/4. 5 times 2 is 10 minus 9. That's 1. 5 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. So now I need to get My first two columns are done. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. That's what I want. Now I need to turn this element into a 1. So in order to do that, I'm going to multiply by -4, row 3. My first two rows stay the same. Here I'm going to multiply by a -4, so it's going to be 0, 0, 1, 5, -4, -4. Now, only two more steps. We're almost done. We've got to get zeros above that 1. So I'm going to start with getting a 0 here. Yes. No? Okay. I'm going to take 9/4 of row 3 and add that to row 2. So row 1 is staying the same. Row 3 is staying the same. Anything times 0 is 0, plus 0 is 0. Anything times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 9/4 times 1 is 9/4, minus 9/4 is 0. Then I've got 9/4 times 5 minus 1/4. Well, that's 45 minus 1 over 4, which is 44 over 4. So that's an 11. Then I've got 9/4 times -4 plus 2. Well, these 4's cancel. -9 plus 2 is a -7. And then 9/4 times a -4, we've already said is -9 plus 0. So this is a -9. One more step. Got to get rid of this sucker. So I'm going to take 5/4 of row 3 and add that to row 1. Rows 2 and 3 are set. 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 11, -7, -9, 5, -4, -4. Okay, anything times 0 plus 1 is 1. Anything times 0 plus 0 is 0. 5/4 times 1 is 5/4, minus 5/4 is 0. Then I'm going to have 5/4 times 5 minus 1/4. So that's 25 over 4 minus 1 over 4, which is 24 over 4, which is 6. Then we've got 5/4 times a -4, and that's going to be for the next two spots. Let's just go ahead and do that math. It's going to be -5. So I'm going to have -5 plus 1 is -4. And then -5 plus 0 is -5. Now that I've done all of this, all the work, I'm going to go back and put it into Delta Math. So the first thing I did was switch rows 1 and 2. And then I multiplied row 1 by a constant, which gave me 1, -1, 1, 0, -1, 0.
Wait, say that again? What did you do?
I multiplied row 1 by a constant. And then the next thing that I did was I altered row 2, and I got 0, -4, 9, 1, -8, 0. And then I altered row 3, which gave me 0, -5, 11, 0, -9, and 1. And then I multiplied row 2 by a constant, 0, 1, negative 9/4, negative 1/4, 2, 0. And then I altered row 1, 1, 0, negative 5/4, negative 1/4, 1, 0. And then I altered row 3, 0, 0, negative 1/4, negative 5/4, 1, 1. And then I multiplied row 3 by a constant, 0, 0, 1, 5, negative 4, negative 4. And then I altered row 2, 0, 1, 0, 11, negative 7, negative 9. And then I altered row 1, 1, 0, 0, 6, negative 4, negative 5. And so my inverse is what's over here on the right. So that's 6, negative 4, negative 5, 11, negative 7, negative 9, 5, negative 4, negative 4. I have 14 minutes remaining in the quiz. But class is done.